This time, we have a STO deep dive, real estate tokenization by Michael Mo, Chief Product Officer of Retium. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. What an amazing week it's been here in Hong Kong for us. We're actually here to announce our partnership with Hybrid. Retium is a global real estate equity crowdfunding portal with a connecting exchange and compliance engine built in. We're built on Hyperledger Fabric. And we will be launching Retium Asia in 2 markets where we're getting our securities exchange license, one of them being Thailand and the other one being Philippines. So I think when it comes to the digitization of securities, we really have to look at real estate. Real estate is the largest asset class in the world. It's 280 trillion. But what really excites me is at this point, we're only 45% of the world living in cities. And by 2050, we will be 70% of the world's population living in cities. And so to date, 150,000 people leave the village every year to go to a city. Now, the opportunity here is who is going to fund the development of these future cities and who is going to participate in the wealth, the immense wealth that's going to be generating. And we think it's going to be the crowd. We think blockchain, security tokens, and these digital assets will have a huge part to play in this. So obviously the big problem with real estate investing is large capital requirements, right? So this really excludes billions of people around the world from participating. Even if you go in on the private markets, there's a lot of poor liquidity. People have syndicated, people have crowdfunded, people in private REITs, and all around the world, you've been to 9 countries, they say the same thing. We have poor liquidity. What people do on the professional side is then they take a huge discount to liquidate. Then you have massive legal accounting fees. Before the digitization of KYC, you're faxing documents back and forth. This is fine if you live in the same city, but cross-jurisdiction, it's very difficult. I think what's very amazing is that majority of the countries in the world now are in a stable, peaceful situation. And so if we look at just the history of commerce, you know, we started with trading with our neighbors in the village, and then things got more and more complex. You know, when I look at even the history of stock markets, you know, you had stockbrokers going for lunch, setting prices and doing transactions. You then had, you know, the phone call system where people were calling in, and then you went to the open floor, and now it's digital. And we think that the new stock market, the new digital market can be global, and we can really have a lot of people in there. The last panel had a really great conversation about trust and verified middlemen. And I think we have to look at this in 2 ways. I think the machine and people need to work together. Yes, Bitcoin can prove its value, it can prove the transaction, and the rest of the things in blockchain, but we need to not forget that we need to have trust in people. We need to have, because behind all of these transactions, especially when it comes to securities, these are companies, these are income-generating vehicles that are essentially, until now, run by people. And so we need people to trust people and to give them that capacity for whoever is part of a transaction. For example, Retium, when we are a global real estate crowdfunding platform, we want to make sure that we're vetting as many projects as possible so that only the projects that have been fully vetted will get on the marketplace, so that you, as an investor, as much as you're doing your due diligence, as much as you want to trust the technology, have a better chance of actually getting what you deserved out of it. So what we looked at with our solution was we built an integrated technology platform that has a primary crowdfunding marketplace for equities and as they pertain to real estate. We focused on real estate so we can really hone in on exactly what those transactions need. We then built an exchange that can embed right into there, so once the crowdfund is done and all the hold periods are over, people can find liquidity within the same platform. On top of that, we then built the compliance engine. This compliance engine is in line with the SEC, the Canadian equivalent. We have gotten our associate broker-dealer license in the United States, so we'll be launching this in 6 weeks, and we're very, very excited. That compliance engine checks for accredited, non-accredited investor. It does KYC, AML. by building on Hyperledger, we're able to bring this entire identity of who an investor is into one sort of object that then can be called every time it goes to our smart contract. So you, as someone raising money, doesn't have to worry about whether every transaction is compliant. The system bakes that in. So what can you fund on Retium? So we really looked at, these are the core templates that real estate groups around the world have been asking for. So we look at residential, we can tokenize an individual condo, we can do an entire building. We can do a fund, a REIT of residential buildings, we can do a REIT of senior facilities. We can do industrial real estate as well, power plants, etc. This even extends to sovereign wealth funds, or even more, a better example would be family offices. So we have a family office in the United States. They own 12 high-performing shopping malls. They have 49 members. So what they're looking to do is to basically digitize the equity holdings of all those members. So if any individual member would want to find liquidity, they could, without affecting the underlying management system or the underlying structure. So it's very, very exciting what you can do with private securities once you digitize the identity, once you digitize the asset, and once you put a compliance engine in place, the transfer and value can happen. So the revenue model for the platform, we do deal listing fees from between $5,000 and $25,000 depending on the asset. We then take a 1.5% transaction fee on the buy and sell. So, and the real big advantage here is for asset owners or people raising money for real estate is when you look at the broker dealers in the United States, they'll take 8 to 10%. And we're only taking 1.5, and then 1.5 will come on the other side. And we think by bringing this sheer cost down, by automating the legal, accounting, and compliance, we're going to let more projects get funded faster at a cheaper rate, so more of that money, in its sense, comes back in the ROI for the investors. We also have 4 white label customers, and that's expanding because we think that we can only reach so much real estate so fast, and so through our white label customers, we're able to serve more markets. So it really works very, very quickly and very, very easily. So within minutes, you can be participating in global real estate. The first step is to verify your identity, KYC in 20 seconds. Then you can load a wallet. The great thing with our wallet is we built an intermediary wallet on Hyperledger. Think of this like a store value debit system. So you can send crypto in. We automatically convert that crypto to fiat wherever that property is. So there's no fluctuation. If you want to pay in Bitcoin, or you want to pay in Yuan, or you want to pay with mobile money in Africa or WeChat, we send that all in, but the money that lands in the escrow account for the crowdfund is the fiat of the country where the asset is. After that, you can go in and easily pick your own property or fund that you want to invest in, sign the documents, and you're invested. Then you're collecting monthly dividends based on the percentage that you hold within that asset. So if you own 10% of the hotel, you get 10% of the monthly profits. We then reflect, created a custom model for reflecting the value of this equity. Your equity is linked to the actual underlying asset value. So if the property goes up by 10%, that's how your actual tokens will go up by 10%, rather than actual speculation in the secondary market. After that, when somebody wants to sell, they can put a sell and sell it either for what it's worth or at a discount. And I'll just show you a quick demo here. So if we look, someone's going to go and register on the mobile app. They're going to put in all their information. They're going to choose their country, and this is very important because then it's going to say non-accredited, accredited investor, and it's going to run a check around that. And then you're going to put in a photo of yourself on a really good day, and that works. And then you're going to go and verify your identity. And like I said, scan your identity card. We have 1,000 databases through our partner. Once you've done that, you'll load your wallet, and we have increasing our partners there. Once you've done that, you can now explore properties. So you can look at properties based on many, many different sections of real estate. So this is a real deal that we'll be launching, Ohika Castle in the United States. It's a new build construction for 190 luxury condos. You can go through, it's been vetted by our investment committee. We have an AI that will run and do the high probability, give it a risk score. All those documents are on the blockchain. They're proof of existence. They've been verified by an accountant, an appraiser as well. And once you've invested, you can see your dashboard. Now I'm going to show you the other side of the platform. So if somebody actually wanted to create this deal, they'd go onto our deal creator and they'd add a new deal. They'd be able to choose whether it's a property crowdfunding, a fund, or a syndicate. So I'm going to choose a fund. I'm going to continue. I'm going to choose the Ohika property. That's the fund that I'm going to go. And now we're going to get into the details. So fund name. We can actually choose the type of investment. Is it revenue share? Is it equity? Is it debt? What's the corporation formation? How much are you raising? ROI based on rental or appreciation, cost per share. After that, you're going to choose your issuing jurisdiction. So we're starting with Canada, United States. Where are you issuing this security out of? What states are allowed to participate? What countries are allowed to participate in? This is all based on the offering memorandum, whether it's Reg A, Reg D, Reg CF. What's very powerful here is this actually tells you how many investors are allowed to invest, what's the minimum investment for non-accredited, accredited, how long do they have to hold, how many of these deals can the company do per year. All of this is programmed in to the smart contract, so every time someone comes to the website, they automatically are allowed or not allowed to invest based on who they are. And this is 90% of the work of compliance officers, so this is how we're able to reduce the cost of this activity. So I'm going to skip this step, and I'm actually going to show you what it looks like in the back office, because when it comes to verifying documents, we think a team is actually better than just allowing, maybe a ghost team to go through. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how the team goes together. So this is the fund back end. You see an appraiser has been submitted. You see the property title has been submitted. You see a lawyer has been added. All of these people's identities have been added to the Hyperledger blockchain. They all have to sign off on every step of the deal. The deal details, the ROIs, which places are allowed to invest. When you look at the deal documents, the corporate, the financial, the offering documents, all of them have to be verified. Independent lawyer, independent accountant, all the information about the property. All these documents are also then put onto the blockchain as well, verified, timestamped, and signed off. So once that's gone through, then the deal goes live, and then people are able to invest in them. Once you've So to date, the marketplace traction, so we've have $830 million worth of assets. 90% of those are in the United States that are going to be listing on our platform starting in 6 weeks. We're very excited. We're actually on a flight to Philippines tonight to look at one of the largest property developers there to talk about putting on some of their properties when we launch in Asia as well. So the new build construction case that I was telling you about, Ohika Castle, the second largest residence in the United States. This is the residence that actually inspired The Great Gatsby, and we're very proud to be able to be part of that story. When we look at what a white label potential looks like, so working in the United States, there's a company called Revans, and they sell real estate in Texas to Japanese business people. They started with a $150,000 buy-in, but after they met us in LA, they realized that they do presentations all across Japan, and now they can actually start at $1,000. And they can use our license out of the United States to do this, and KYC and everything. So we're very excited about 100xing their potential of who can invest with them. And we actually went to Japan, and they do an amazing cowboy dance out there, and it's really, really impressive. So another type of customer that when we look at is Kudo. So they are a modular housing. They're an amazing award-winning modular house. They're building Kudo resorts. These are sustainable resorts all around the world. And they're going to use our platform not as a dealer themselves, but as a way to allow people to crowd invest into these modular homes as they become hotels. So the competitive advantage is the fractional ownership at $100 entry point. That opens it up to billions of people. But really that $100 is because we reduce so much of the legal and accounting admin in the back end that we're able to basically allow retail investors in. The second thing is Canada and the United States have led the way, crowdfunding exemptions allowing retail investors to get into private placements. So we are one of the people on the cutting edge of compliance, not because we're innovating on it, but because we're following it when we're listening to what the regulator is doing and seeing the actual things they're allowing us to do. The liquidity in the secondary market allows that. IBM has been really phenomenal for Hyperledger. We are porting over to Ethereum, and we're looking at some other ways that we can release our tokens, but for now, our scalability and our security IBM is very powerful. So we look at go-to-market strategy. One of the things that's really powerful is all of the dead leads. When you think about all the people who've become unqualified to invest in real estate or buy real estate, those are the type of people that now become available for crowdfunding. So we're very, very excited to be working with the biggest CRMs for real estate in the world to basically go after those dead leads and offer them a way to get into real estate. So when we look at social impact, I think one of the big things is, a lot of, securities have been talking about servicing the biggest companies in the world, helping them find a way to do their private securities better. We think that with blockchain, the real advantage here is when you have everyone with a cell phone that is, iPhone 5 Plus with internet connection and a mobile wallet, be that in all around the world, whether it's from Bitcoin or to the mobile money in Africa, they're sitting on $1 trillion. Deloitte says it's $5,000 per millennial in the West. And what they're buying avocado toast or going on holiday, they have no way of participating. We're giving them a way in. So our bottom line and our social impact are the same thing. So as I said, 22 conferences, 15 cities. So we've really gone around the world, and we're not just doing this to promote. We're out there learning. We're learning about what people's needs are. We're learning about what customers need. We're learning about the technologies. We have amazing partners, our KYC, our AML, our wallet. These are all partners who are best in class, and we meet them at conferences like this. And so it's very inspiring for us to see how the community is growing. People really respond to this. Real estate is a global language, and we're very, very fortunate to be able to have been given space. So thank you to Rod and to Hybrid even for inviting us and for partnering with us. When it comes to really that news outlet, we're very fortunate to get to NASDAQ in Times Square. They invited us out to really look at what the future of real estate is and be part of that conversation. When we look at our team, and I'm just going to be wrapping up, Thomas Park, my co-founder and CEO, he's been in real estate for over 15 years, sold over $500 million of real estate. He's a residential expert. Thomas Tiedemann is a senior vice president at Blackstone. He personally rewrote their global REIT strategy and has been giving us phenomenal insights into how to structure some of our smart contract templates. Andrew Gillette was on the Ethereum Classic founding team, and he was at Accenture with the Bank of Canada's Jasper project, where they were doing interbank transfers. Things that would take 5 days are now going to take minutes, if not hours. So very proud of the team that we've built, very proud of the traction that we've made. When we look at what we're doing, our beta was ready in November. Broker-dealer just acquired. First tokenized fund is going to be in Asia. Hopefully it's going to be Philippines or Singapore, and Philippines or Thailand, and we'll find out more tonight. And by December, we're really looking to target that exchange license in the West, so really watch this space. And thank you guys so much. I'm out of time. Check us out at retium.com or Retium Asia, and you guys have a good evening.
Give it up for Michael Moore and Retium. Wow, 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 wow. I'm seeing the future right in front of me, my own eyes right here.